Hi, this is Amy. I wanted to give you a little tour of our catalog. This can be found on our website, and it can also be found. Many of you may have received this in a little welcome package for your family, but if you haven't received one yet, or if you received one a long time ago, there are some updates that I wanted to share with you. Understanding this catalog will help you figure out what classes you want your kids to take through Elevated. Now, remember that you can choose our live virtual classes. They are highly interactive. We ship materials to you so your kids are engaged in something with their hands while they're learning. They play games, they take lots of wiggle breaks, they work movement into the learning. So these are not your everyday online classes. You also have the choice to choose alternative curriculum and teach that with Elevated teacher support. You still have support whether you use our classes or you use alternative curriculum. Some of the curriculum we've chosen for our classes can also be used on your own because it is designed for at-home learning. When you have your learning plan meeting, either with me or with your cohort teacher, you can ask more questions about all of this, and you can always contact me, and the contact is going to be at the end of the catalog. So first, just a quick review of how we see students. So we look at students a little bit in groups, and some of this is based on their social, emotional, psychological development. So we teach our younger 5 to 8 or 9-year-olds a little differently than we teach our 8 to 10-year-olds, and then our adventurers. This year we only have grade 6, but next year we will add 7 and 8, so our adventurers will be 12 to 14 years old. So it's not just what we teach, but how we teach with each of these age groups that aligns with the best way they learn for their social emotional state. We use competency-based education. I like the term skills-based education a little more. So all of our virtual classes are mixed age, and the students are grouped by skill level. The age usually doesn't range that much, but you will notice that none of our classes say grade 1, grade 2, grade 5. They have cute little names to go with them because we wanted to take the emphasis off grade level, and we wanted to put the emphasis on skills acquisition and moving forward. So we always keep a positive attitude and encourage our students to simply move forward, and everyone does that at a different pace, and that is okay. So for reading, we have Pathfinders 1 and 2, and we have Story Pathfinders. All 3 of these classes focus on teaching phonics. They all use All About Reading, which is a home-based designed curriculum, so it's very nice. We send you the letter tiles. They're magnetic. Some assembly required. I couldn't do all of them, but so you have to punch them out and put the stickers on them. We also send you a 8x10 magnetic whiteboard, which isn't shown here, but it's so your kids can build words using their letters. We also give kids access to the app from All About Reading, which it's the same color code as the physical letter tiles. So consonants are blue, vowels are red, and then there's more for some blends. So they can either use the digital or the physical manipulatives to build words. I like that All About Reading always comes with hardcover, really pretty books that are the stories that they read. And that's because even your kindergartner who can't read yet is going to be handed a real book that looks like a book that you would read or someone else would read. We also use handwriting without tears. That is optional. It's up to you. And you'll notice in the catalog that we've aligned a handwriting without tears, oops, wrong direction, with each level. But you can always change this if you know your child is at a different stage of writing. That's fine. Just tell us and we'll swap it out for you. There's going to be another video where I go in depth into the different levels and what you should think about when placing your child in the class. For our older kids in language arts, we have 2 classes that both teach both reading and writing and listening and speaking for about ages 8 to 11. One is called Literary Explorers and one is called Writing Explorers. Now, both of them teach all the concepts of reading, writing, speaking, and listening. The Literary Explorers, all the units are focused on a theme that connects back to fables, myths, and fairy tales. So a unit may focus on Greek myths, and another unit may focus on fables. We use the Institute for Excellence in Writing notebook to teach writing, and it guides students from note-taking and identifying keywords all the way to essay writing. If your kids are little, don't worry. It shows the basic format of an essay, but then it goes, they can write a basic essay or they can write a more complex essay depending on what their skill level is. Remember, we're skills-based. They read these books, these 4 books at the bottom, Charlotte's Web, Wizard of Oz, A Wrinkle in Time, Sign of the Beaver. Those 4 books, they don't read all 4 of them, they choose one of those books. When they're in class, the focus is on big ideas. What was the message of your story that you're reading? What was the lesson in the fable? The plot elements like characters, setting, climactic points, action, conflict. We go through all those. And even if our students are reading different books, we can still talk about those topics. And it's actually a really great conversation when kids can talk about what is going on in their books. So that is one option for grades 3 through 5, or I have some 2nd graders taking this because they're done with their phonics, and I have some 6th graders taking this because this was the appropriate level. If your student is mostly good in phonics, or you feel like the phonics class would be boring to them, you can place them in this class, and all of these books are available by Audible or as a little video clip. They just need to know the story, and then we can supplement their phonics continuation with either a digital game or a very small workbook, not a whole nother curriculum. The other option for language arts is our Writing Explorers class. I'm so excited that we have a teacher who has a master's of fine arts in creative writing and creative nonfiction, and I wanted to put her talents to use. So we have a Writing Explorers class. You wouldn't need to take both. You would pick one or the other. Remember, they both teach reading, writing, speaking, and listening. But instead of a theme like fables, myths, and fairy tales, each unit in this class focuses on a style of writing. This class also gives students a little more choice in what they read. So each unit, for example, in the narrative unit, we would suggest 4 or 5 books to choose from that are good examples of quality narrative writing. And then your student gets to choose, and then they're looking at that as an exemplar text, and then they will, by the end of the unit, create their own short story or narrative writing of another style, and they will be applying what they're learning. So if your student loves to write, make up stories, or wants to improve their writing skills, this is a great class. If your student is not super into fairy tales, myths, and fables, this might be the right class because there's a little more variety of book choice. If your student loves this theme, there is still a lot of writing instruction in here. So it's just up to student preference. And for our 6th graders, and 5th graders can take this if you feel like it's the right level for them, humanities blends both language arts and history. The theme this year for this class is ancient history. So they will be learning about and they will be completing writing lessons that center around different ancient civilizations, and they will be reading some literature either from that era or about that era. So this Gilgamesh book is a younger reader's version of the classic Gilgamesh, which is one of the oldest stories that we have ever found. This is a good version of the Odyssey, and this is available on Audible if they need that. These are a historical fiction. So they're written today, but they're about ancient Rome. We threw in a Shakespeare play. They can watch the play, but one of the reasons that I like the no fear versions of Shakespeare is because plain English is side by side with the Shakespearean English. And this might be their favorite book in this class. The Red Pyramid is written by the same author who wrote the Percy Jackson series. He wrote another series that has 2 sister-brother characters who are descended from Egyptian gods. So it teaches about Egyptian gods through fiction. Okay, now we're in math. This is Math Pathfinders. This is our beginning math classes. We send you a whole bunch of manipulatives. It's very hands-on. It's movement. There's hands-on activities. There's a lot of breaks. These are our littles, and they are wiggly, and sometimes math can be challenging, but that's okay. We are going to make it really fun. I like this curriculum because it shows the kids how to think about doing a math problem in several different ways. It does not teach them that there's only one way to do math. So that's why I picked it. And then Math Explorers also uses Eureka Math Squared. That's what the younger class uses, but it's a little more challenging. And I'm going to make a whole nother video showing you all the different levels of math so that you can get a good idea of where to place your child. I will also make available the different unit assessments. And I don't want you to give your kids all those assessments, but I want you to just see the types of problems that are done at each level. If your child knows 50% or less of a certain level, then that's probably the right level for them. Some will be review, but this curriculum introduces things in a little bit different way, so they might really enjoy it. We're also going to have a weekly math challenge, which is optional, and it is real world. So your teacher is going to make up something they can do at home or outside that's really easy that will apply the skills they're learning in math that week. For example, if we're learning area, maybe the math challenge that week would be go figure out who has the biggest room. And then when they come back to class, they can share what they discovered and how they approached the problem, because there's not one way to do math. For our sixth graders or for our younger kids who are up to this level, we have Math Adventures this year. This is ratios, proportions. It's introducing algebra with variables in problems. And again, look at the video and look at the assessments to see if this is the right fit for your student. This is our Junior Pathfinders class. This class combines both social studies and science. This class was designed for our non-readers or for kids who are still working on their basic reading skills, because we wanted them to have fun and not be frustrated. It also doesn't require a lot of physical writing. So this geography book has a lot of stickers, and the science books have a lot of stickers. You'll see these Children Just Like Me books also in the next social studies class, and each unit is going to focus on a part of the world, and we're going to focus on what do kids eat there, how do they dress, do they go to school, what games do they play, what do they celebrate, and then we'll learn some geography about that part of the world. So that is true for both this class and I have to skip. And this class. You'll notice the books look familiar. However, this geography workbook requires a little more writing. There's some cutting and pasting, but a little more writing, and no stickers. And we can always mix and match too. Always in my history classes, I include some stories. So this class includes a year full of stories. It is myths and folk tales from each area. I am sending the book to each of you. It's a beautiful book. It's got a hardcover, great pictures, but it's way above reading level for this age group. So you can read this to your child, and the teacher will be reading stories from this. But it has such great pictures. I wanted the kids to actually have this in their hands so that they could look through the book. Even if they're just looking at the pictures of the area they're learning about, I think they'll still get a lot from seeing those stories. Okay, let's back up a little bit to science. So if they aren't doing the Junior Pathfinders, we have NOAO's Biology 1. This year we're doing life science with all of our levels. And this is a curriculum that was created by a former homeschooler for home-based learning. You will get the instructor's guide, even though you have a teacher teaching your child, just in case you need a cheat sheet if your child is asking you questions. This first level comes with a lot of early reader books on the weather, on animals. There's a coloring book for birds. There's a first animal encyclopedia. So they'll be learning about weather, plants, insects, animals, and a little bit about the human body. There's also a human body book buried in there somewhere. Our next level of science, which is good for about 8 to 11-year-olds, is the same Noeo biology, but it's level 2. And Noeo takes a Charlotte Mason approach. And that approach is a lot of observation, hands-on experimenting, and then reading living books. So you might notice we don't use textbooks in any of our curriculum. We use real books for you. So this one is a little more challenging. It's still very hands-on. It comes with supplies to do hands-on experiments and activities, and they are all in bags marked for what they which lesson they align with, which is really nice. As a mom, I understand. This one comes with a pocket microscope, and it comes with some slides that are already prepared, and then part of the class is teaching the kids how to make their own slides. They can go out and find a bug or a blade of grass or pull out one piece of their hair and look at it under a microscope that they make. For our 6th graders, our science is pretty exciting. It is called Jurassic Planet, and this teaches science skills in life and earth science that actually touch on skills from grades 6, 7, and 8. Students can engage in this at whatever level they are at, but the unique thing about this is it is a live action role play game. Kids don't have to play a character, they can just be themselves, but the entire year they work their way through a story about a group of cadets. They're the cadets, they got volunteered to go out into space, find a planet that they could make suitable for human life. They learn a lot about earth science and what it takes to support human life. They create plants, they create organisms, they create animals for their planet. They learn a lot about color spectrum and the different atmospheres and why certain planets are certain colors, what's in their atmosphere that makes that. We will continue with the live action role play science classes for 7th and 8th grade. Just each year we rotate what the story and theme are. Okay, so we did that one. Here is history for our 8 to 11-year-olds, but like I said, if your kids would love this class and it seems like the right fit for them, that is how we group our classes. So this is also world geography, and it's not necessarily history. There's a little history, but it's more about cultures. So again, every unit will be a certain area of the world. They'll learn about the geography. They'll learn about different flags. They'll learn some cool facts about that area. We'll focus in on a country, and they'll learn about the foods, the customs, the celebrations. And again, we have the Magical Tales book, which is short stories from around the world for you. We also have clubs. The clubs have a fee that is different from the class materials fees, but clubs are eligible for a fee waiver. So if you think you qualify for a fee waiver, then please reach out to us and we will send you a really easy paper to fill out. It's based on household size and income. And if you qualify for the fee waiver, then the clubs don't come out of your personalized learning funds. So you have more to work with. We have robotics at 3 levels, and I will show another short video that talks about the different levels of robotics. We have art club at 2 levels, and it is offered on Tuesday for our younger kids, and then it is offered on both Wednesday and Thursday for all kids who feel confident in art, or any kids 3rd grade and above, I would say, should do Wednesday or Thursday. We have Spanish club on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can take either class. Both classes are K through 6 because everybody's learning Spanish together. So it doesn't matter which day, it's whatever works for your schedule. And then we have ASL Club, which is on Mondays and Tuesdays. Again, both classes are K through 6. So you can pick whatever day works for you. This is our school calendar, and all of this is on our website. This is our school calendar. You may notice that the first day of school is August 12th. That is when we officially start school, and you should have all your materials before then. However, our virtual classes don't start until August 26th. This is because, especially in our first year, we want our cohort teachers to have time to reach out to you, connect with you, meet at least once just to get to know you a little bit. We want to make sure you have all the materials and items that you need and answer any questions you have so that when your kids start live classes, they are ready to go and they have a great experience. We end school the Friday before Memorial Day. I always think Memorial Day should be the kickoff to summer. So that is our calendar. You can find this on our website. It shows all the breaks too. This is all the classes all in one place. Don't let this overwhelm you. And these are just some sample schedules. Now, as I've been doing learning plan meetings, these schedules often don't look just like this because someone might be doing what is their typical grade level in reading, but be higher in math or be higher in reading and lower in math. So, but I do have these so that you just get an idea of what it looks like. Some things to notice are that language arts and math meet twice a week. Science and social studies each meet once a week. So it's not a ton of time online for your kids. And but the teachers are available Monday through Thursday from 8:30 to 2. So if your kids need any help, in addition to the live classes, they just need to reach out and set up a time to Zoom with either their cohort teacher or the class teacher to get some extra help. But we wanted to leave enough flexibility and time for you to do your own fun family things and individualized learning. So the other thing you'll notice is that the classes are all blocked for 90 minutes. Nobody panic. The classes are 90 minutes because that's the time the teacher has blocked to focus on that class, that subject, that group of kids. So the teacher is in her class Zoom room the entire 90 minutes. She starts off with about 10 minutes of what we call social time, which is when the kids simply get to share. What are they doing? Did they do anything fun last weekend? Do they have anything coming up they're excited about? The teacher can recognize birthdays and the kids just get to know each other because we're trying to build that learning community and those relationships of trust so that as the kids get older, they can learn from their peers and work together collaboratively. Then we go into what we call showtime, which is our way of positively encouraging kids to do assignments and projects. Kids can voluntarily show a picture of their finished project, or they can come hold it up to the camera and show us what they did. I really like this. I've done this for years. And what I find is that some of the shyer kids, right around January, they're dying to share because what they notice is the teacher only has positive things to say about everything that is shared, very genuine, positive comments. We even model positive commenting by asking the students if anyone wants to share one thing that they love about how that student did that project or something that they like. We do not even open the door to critiques in a group setting. And then also they see that different students have done the project differently and that's okay. The teacher validates every project. We want them to grow their creativity. We want them to personalize it. So about halfway through the year, the kids get really excited about sharing and we tend to almost run out of time for that. Then the teacher works on the instruction part, which includes breaking for games. It includes movement that helps reinforce learning, not just wiggle breaks, but, can you wiggle and count up to 10, or can you count by 2s or by 5s? Can you go and find something in your house? You have 10 seconds, go find something that starts with the B sound and bring it back and show it to us in the camera. So we try to make it really engaging. Usually instruction is wrapped up for K through 5 around the hour mark, but the teacher stays in that classroom. If students need to go, they can go. If students want to stay, the teacher is right there. She's not giving direct instruction, but she's there and they can always just unmute and ask her a question. I always like very gently guiding students into learning and gently pulling them out of learning. I don't want to abruptly stop class and say, okay, that's no more math. If they're in the zone and they're doing their math and they want to finish up with the teacher there as sort of a safety net and a helper, then great, let's finish up and then they're done for the day for math. So those are the schedules. This is how you get a hold of me. So this is the back of our catalog. This phone number comes straight to my school cell phone, and I'm happy to talk to you. You can text me or call me, and this email comes directly to me as well. So if you have any questions about classes, feel free to reach out to me. If you don't have a chance to do your learning planning meeting anytime soon, but you really want to get your kids placed in classes, then this is meant to help you out. Thanks.